Okay, here we are. It's the morning to ruin my life or make it this much doper. Deed has indeed been done. Check it out, y'all. We're on the third day. God said, let there be light. I just ruined my life home, maybe, potentially. We'll see. All right, guys, the van is finally ready to show off. I got my POPTOP 1994 Chevy G20 van. I'm kicking it. I'm shooting the breeze. I got headroom now. I'm standing up. This video is going to be for anybody that has any of these older vans or any van that's like a handicap van that has a topper on it that's like about a foot to a foot and a half and is tall enough for you to stand up a little bit, but not all the way. This is going to be the video for you guys, right? Because I just turned mine from a normal handicap van into a POPTOP, similar to those old Westphalia Vanagons, the old VW Vanagons. So they're the old VWs that the roof actually lifts up and turns into a tent. And it's so nice. You get a nice breeze in here. All of the hot air rises up out of it. You get a nice breeze and you can stand up. So anyways, like I said, if you have one of those vans and you want to be standing up and shooting the breeze like I am, this is the video for you. All right, check it out. So really what the inspiration for this project was to mainly raise the ceiling so I could stand up in it and also get a little bit of extra ventilation as well, and kind of utilize some of the elements around me rather than going for like the option of getting an AC and having to add extra power capabilities and all that. I have anyways, you guys see the outside of the van. It's a Chevy G20, so it's like limited roof space for solar panels and whatnot. So essentially, once I thought the idea was once I get this POPTOP, I can, if it's ever hot in here, I can just raise the roof and bam, all that heat is gonna rise out, get a nice airflow. So anyways, that was kind of the inspiration, but it always seemed like something that was probably too like out of my expertise, a little bit unattainable. I'm in the blue collar trades myself. But I do flooring and stuff. So I've done a little bit of everything, like working with some contractors that do like remodeling contractors that do kind of everything. So I know a little bit of the magician's secrets. So I thought maybe I would give it a try. And but honestly, my the main hindrances to this project were me not having a whole lot of access to power tools, or any kind of welding or anything like really specialized, like that like niche that you would need to maybe do, that you would maybe need to do a project like this. So essentially I dreamed about doing this project for about 2 years before it actually ended up coming all together. But I kind of had to figure out how I was going to do it without creating any kind of frames or anything like that. So what I started with was I took a look at other people's builds. So I went online and did some research, took a look at how the VW Westphalias were attached, and how everything kind of worked and what people did to secure it, because that was the main thing I was worried about. Is obviously you're going to be driving on the freeway with this thing. So I was a little bit nervous about embarking on this whole journey, to say the least. But I have good news for you guys. I figured out a really awesome build plan for putting POPTOPs on any of these old school like handicap vans or anything like that with the high tops, but the ones that are just not high enough for you to stand up all the way in there. So again, my headroom, it went from about 5 feet, under 5 feet, to now I have about 6 feet with the topper completely closed. And for whatever reason, it measures out to 6 feet, but I know I have some friends that say they're 6'2", and they came in here and were able to stand up straight. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it doesn't check somebody lying about the measurements, but I just double checked it. So anyways, yeah, so I saw on a lot of these other builds that they were having that they had some kind of like frame, right? Some kind of like accordion frame or something that was like a metal type of frame that was not just the topper, not just the tent. I didn't have any access again to welding or anything like that. So what I opted for instead was to go on OfferUp or any classified ad. You go on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, any of the classifieds, and look up these old truck toppers. And they're like camping truck. They're called like camper toppers for trucks. Truck camper topper. That's what you search. So what you do is you go and you find yourself one of those, and I got this thing for $80. The guy he really just wanted it out of his, most people just want these things out of their backyards. So he was willing, he's like, we came to like, how can what's a good price for you? What's a good price for me? Bam, $80. These things cost tons of money to either fabricate yourself or buy a brand new one. Man, you can spend thousands of dollars just acquiring these toppers alone. So for me to have gotten it for the topper, which is the biggest part of the biggest like hardware aspect of the job, for $80, bam, steal. What if I told you you could be standing up in your van for $80, right? Of course, some of the other hardware things cost a little bit, but it's small pennies to buying like a $2,000 brand new, newly fabricated fiberglass topper, let alone the install after that, getting it installed and whatnot. Okay, so I bought that topper for $80, and then what I did is I chopped the top off of it and scrapped the bottom portions, and which just left me with a roof, basically, just a top, just a lid it's about 8 or 9 inches deep. So that just left me with what you'll see as the topper right here. So anyways, you can do that with any kind of old camper shell. Not any kind. You'll have to kind of, look and make, follow my plan and what I did, and choose something similar to that, something that has like a bubble that pops up from the base as well. But other than that, get you any one of those ones that'll work. And they're oftentimes, like I said, floating around online for real cheap. And chop the bottom of it, bam, you've got your topper. And so anyways, let me tell you guys just a couple of the few important aspects of the project. And these were really the only things, right? So what I needed to do is I needed to figure out how to secure this topper to my existing topper, right? So there's a couple of things involved there. I needed to figure out what was going on with my roof, and so I took a look, and there's actually a frame that goes all the way around, and so I figured I was actually able to probably mount some hooks and some hinges onto that. And if I was able to just put 4 hinges, latches, hooks and latches on 4 corners of this topper, that I could at least have it secured while I'm driving and when it's not popped. And then when I want to pop it, all I need to do is undo these latches, and I'm still finding stuff the perfect thing to pop it open with, but you can use anything that's the right height to pop that thing open in any direction, right? So if the wind is going in some direction, some particular direction, you can pop it in a different way or whatever, right? So super versatile, really simple, no welding involved. And it gets you going for very cheap. We're not talking about adding any electronic hydraulic lifts or anything like that. So I was thinking originally the design I was thinking of was putting like a hinge, like a long piano hinge on one end so it could tip. But that ended up becoming a little bit more difficult because my van, oftentimes these old vans have like a little bit of a curve and an arc to them, right? So I was like, this complicates things with the hinge, and I was like, why am I securing it? The only time it needs to be secured is when I'm driving. Otherwise, when I'm popped, this thing weighs at least 50 pounds, so it stays on. It's not probably more than that. I have no gauge of how much things weigh. But yeah, so it stays on its own, and it's very stable with the rubber gasket around it and everything. It's very, very stable, right? Okay, so aside from making sure that the topper was actually safely latched down for when I'm driving, obviously the next most important thing is that making sure that we've got a nice seal so that we don't have rain come and ruin my nice project, right? So the next time a rainstorm comes, I get caught with my pants down, I don't get flooded in here. So let me tell you guys how I did that. Check it out. Okay, here we are. So what we did is we got one of these rubber gaskets. It's like a rubber seal, kind of like similar to the ones that go around doors, normal car doors. And you can get a really long one. I'm going to attach the link to the Amazon one that I got that I used for this project. But you get a long one of those, and you're going to line your entire topper with this gasket. All right. And so then what you're going to do from there is, well, I should say what I did from there is I put a small lip that's raised on the inside so that when you close this, the rubber seal goes on the outside. And it's hard to see, but there's actually a small, like 1/4 inch raise right here. So even if there was some rain that got in through the seal, it's not going to go up against gravity and go over this. Okay, so then the way that we did that was we used this stuff called car tape. It's made by Gorilla, and you can find it at AutoZone or Home Depot, Lowe's. They sell it all of those places, but it's real handy stuff. Super strong, and it's thick, and it's waterproof. So what I'm doing is I'm using that for any little small holes on the topper that like were made from an old drill. So if I need to plug something like that, it's really good for little small plugs. But also I'm using it to create that lip all the way around. So I'm doing it real simple. I'm just sandwiching a plank of wood in there and folding the tape on over it and just doing it really, really simple. Obviously there's probably a bunch of different ways that you could do that. But the idea is that you're just trying to get a little bit of a lip so that your seal goes under it, and then there's going to be no water's not going to be going up over that lip, and you're going to have a perfect seal, I promise. I just got through my first rainstorm and worked like a charm. So anyways, that's how that's done. Essentially that's the plan. So I learned a couple of things. There's only just a few technical things that this job required, and basically, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to have as little hardware outside of have the outside of the topper be as sleek as possible, right? So I ended up using these, so I wanted to use these things called carriage bolts. I'm going to add the picture of that as well right here. So these things, you've seen them. Basically, they just allow for a nice sleek look on the outside that doesn't have like a Phillips head, or so that you couldn't dismantle it from the outside and get in through any of that. There's no place to twist the bolt out. It's all secured from the inside, so it's very safe. So the tricky part of those, the only tricky part of that was figuring out how to drill a square hole. So I ended up having to learn how to, drill a square hole. So what you do with that is you drill your hole, normal hole, and then you take a file essentially and you just file it until it's a square. And that was pretty tedious, labor intensive, took a long time. Definitely took me a good 3 hours just doing all 8 of those holes, of those square holes. But after you do that, that's what holds it together. And essentially, I'm going to take you guys are going to see, but there's these hinges, these latches are just held together onto my roof, and it comes down, and yeah, it's all held together like that. And the other thing that was important about this is when you're fastening metal to fiberglass, you have to remember that you can't just put fiberglass and metal together, especially in a car. There's a lot of vibrations, so it'll end up damaging your fiberglass if you don't put something in between, a buffer. So what they recommend you doing is putting sandwiching, like wood. You're gonna see the sandwich that I have, but I have some wood in between, at least the metal on the inside and the fiberglass. It also functions as a riser that helped it get to the exact height that I needed it to get to. But on the top, they're just rubber. I literally just used one layer of rubber below the metal backing plate. So again, follow the design that I have for the sandwich. It's a metal backing plate for the carriage bolts that just can help distribute the weight between the bolts, because it's an old fiberglass topper, so I wanted to be gentle with it. So those carriage bolts, they have a metal plate on them right there, so when they're pulling down, it's not just pulling on one spot, it's actually distributing the weight out a little bit better. And then right there below that backing plate, there's a rubber seal. Yeah, it's been working so far. The no damage to the fiberglass up there after, you know, rattling it around on on the roads, on the city roads, and we've got terrible roads out here. Yeah, so I've put it through the test. Also got past my first freeway drive, though that was pretty terrifying, but past that, and yeah, so ever since then it's been really nice. It's been the holidays though recently, so I haven't been able to I got the project done right before the holidays, and then you know how that goes, had a bunch of stuff going on, and I'm only now recently in the next week or so gonna have some time off to edit this video and really put this whole thing together for you guys, and also to be able to go out and enjoy this thing. So I'm gonna go out to the beach, I'm gonna go to the mountains, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of trips here in the next foreseeable future with now that it's so comfortable. Now I will admit it's not all perfect. There is one thing that I'm not super happy with how it turned out, but when you're working on a budget, there's really only so much you can do, and so, you know, I'm happy. It's fully functional, and I'm very happy nonetheless. But the one aspect that I wish I could change about it is the front, where I had to make a little bit of a patch to not only go over the hump that my original topper on my car has, but to fill in the hole where the truck topper has for a window, for the back window. So that's just the nature of using these old parts, is that I had to make a little bit of a patch there, and it doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look too great either. It's only from the front. You can only see it from the front though. That's the only place that I had to patch. Everywhere else is just perfect seal, like it was built like it was built for it. And you know, we don't end up taking a lot of pictures of cars from the front anyways, so it kind of works out. It still looks super mean from the side. Yeah, that was the only thing, and it's just kind of cosmetic. Other than that, it works fully functional. And like I said, just wow, it's so nice to be able to stand up in this thing. There's just so much, feels like there's so much more space. It's so much more pleasant to be in. Yeah, I know that you guys will really enjoy it. And like I said, I just want to give you guys the motivation and encouragement to do it yourself. You can do it. It was really terrifying though, I'm not gonna lie. There's something about cutting an 8-foot hole in your roof that is definitely terrifying. So all right guys, that's just about the end of the video. I have a few more things to do in terms of making it look a little nicer on the inside, and also adding a mosquito net, but luckily I live in SoCal where there's not really that many bugs, so that's probably all gonna happen on a rainy day sometime. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this POPTOP build, it worked out great. It's safe to drive and it's sealed from all of the elements. But I've also got standing room now and a beautiful breeze when I'm parked with the top open. Again, my motivation in making this video is to give you guys the blueprints for how I turned my normal high top handicap van into an ultra rare POPTOP, and give you guys the motivation that you can do it too, all right? So yeah, when it was all said and done, this project took a surprisingly little amount of money, tools, or supplies. All right, all we used was the old truck camper, the rubber seal, those hooks and latches, carriage bolts, and that rubber car tape. And links to all of the supplies that I got on Amazon are going to be included in the description of the video. I want you guys to also leave a comment. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment. I'll try to answer them, because I know that there's probably something that I either didn't explain fully enough or whatever. If you guys have a question, please leave a comment, hit me with a like, And I appreciate you guys for rocking with me so long in this video. It was a little bit of a long one, but at the same time, I really hope that I was able to give you guys the confidence that you need to embark on this project as well. And like I said, I promise you will not regret it once you are shooting the breeze like I am right now in your custom pop top van. And thanks again, guys. Peace out. I'll catch you on the next one.